I'm started here on this motor. I've fought with this thing all day yesterday. Well, quite a bit of time. Wants to flip over because it's not straight, but I'll figure that out and weld it. I need to make another good hinge plate there that this jack will go on. But anyway, I've got the motor kind of in, and I've got one motor mount on it there, just stuck in with some bolts. It's not really bolted down or anything. And it looks like where it has to go is sort of pointed up. I think I've only got this fender just clamped on here. Might have a bolt here in the front. Yeah, I got a couple bolts there. So I need to take this, got a clamp there in the back. I need to take this fender off so I can get in there and it's obviously got to go down quite a bit, at least 6 inches, and then I'll have to fabricate some kind of a back brace there to hold the rear of the motor. And I think I'm just gonna cut this stuff off of here, that where the old mount went, because the front mount's going to be up here somewhere. I need to figure out something for that. And of course I got to box this whole frame. This whole mess here has got to be sorted out. Put my exhaust manifolds on it. See what I got in the way of clearance. And I've just got an iron bar across there right now just to try to put a little weight on it. It looks like it did compress the front end a little. But anyway, that's what I got to do. Get this fender off of here, so I got a little room to work. Get my motor mount bolted on here good, and kind of get this thing centered in the frame, and some kind of brackets to hold it on so I can drop the weight down and get the weight on the car, which is the main thing. So got my work cut out for me today. I'd like to get the motor down, and I don't think I'll get a final dimension on it, but I will be able to get it basically where it goes. This is I got this 727 transmission. Won't fit it or bolt up, but it's approximately the same weight and stuff, so I can roll it around. Maybe I can get it in there. Get the motor and transmission. If I can just get the transmission into the car body, that'll give me my weight. The whole purpose of this is getting that rear stuff back there sorted out. But this is going to tell me roughly where the center of my motor is and all that. And I'll get taking this apart and bring it back. There it is. All the weight's on the frame. I just clamped some brackets here on the frame so the motor mounts would hit them. They're not really solid or anything, but I got about a inch travel or so bouncing up and down on it. You can see the roll control arms are moving there. I've got it, that pan is only off the ground 3 inches or so. That's got to go up. Pretty good here in the front. But main thing is that pan. I gotta have more than that for ground clearance. Of course, these tires are awfully small. That'll raise it up some, but a 2-inch, 3-inch tire is only going to raise it like 1.5 inches. So the back needs to go up probably 1 inch. Now that I got my lift out, I had the lift hit the frame. It won't go under it unless it's jacked up. So now I'll have to do any adjusting to this motor with a floor jack. So that'd be the first thing, to see if I can get this up 1 inch in the back. I can tell that it's way too steep of an angle. I think another inch will do it. I could, of course, lower these motor mounts, but that just lowers the pan. So I'll get into there and see if I can get this thing lifted up. Put another inch there in the back. It just barely gives me 4 inches of clearance. You can see that 2x4 still not really going under it. So I got to raise it, and the motor looks pretty good. I had to take this off before I beat up my fancy paint. Yeah, see, so this is right at 0. So I need to raise it about 1 inch in the back, 1.25 inches in the front. To give myself some clearance down there. I just stuck these cast iron 360 manifolds on here. They are going to clear, and I can do something about that. I got to cut all this crap off of here. I think I'll just try to cut it here close to the frame as I can get it. I can't see what it's good for, but I've got this I don't know if this is interfering or not, but it's really close right in this area. And my steering joint here to do something with that. And it basically is going to have to go up here somewhere with a heim joint. And probably another one right here in this area, and then up to the steering column. But I've got the motor in. I've got about, well, at least 6 inches there clearance. And I've got it set level where it should go. It's just propped up here. I've got a lot of the weight off of it because I've got the motor jacked up there with the on the harmonic balancer. But I don't think that this motor mount setup is any good. I'm going to move this one to point down and see what I got. But I really can't run the steering through there. Not like that anyway. So I'll pull these motor mounts out, see what I can do about putting that mount down. Well, this is kind of a mess. I've got that hanging down. I can get this motor mount to fit right there. But then I got to come out 6 inches with something and weld it into this frame. And this frame is not all that great. But I could probably put something in here like this. That would be strong enough. But man, it's sure ugly. Maybe I ought to just abandon this whole motor mount setup I got here. And try to switch to Ford single post ones or something. Fabricate my own. You know, it's not that big a deal to make a plate that'll fit those holes and then come straight over at an angle or something to go into the frame. But I kind of want this rubber bushing. The only other thing I can do is just cut this whole motor mount up and just use that bottom part. I'm not sure. But anyway, let's see what my steering shaft looks like now. Well, I got a pretty good shot up here. Probably going to be like that. So I'm still going to have to put a couple heim joints in it and get it around this manifold. But that last one I did was a lot more work than this. I'm going to stick that manifold on there and see what we got in the way of space again. pressing on with making the motor mounts, I was able to use some of this 2-inch, 1/8-inch plate, and I used my plasma cutter and cut a piece out. I patched this hole here and this one, so now I've got the frame boxed basically from where that big bracket is all the way up here to the front. Was having some trouble figuring out how to weld. This is the first side I did. It's pretty bad, and I got a little better on this one. My main thing is I can't really see, so seems like my best deal is to weld like 1 inch and see where I'm at, and weld another inch and do it like that. But it may be ugly, but it's definitely penetrated all the way through. In fact, I burnt a few holes in it, but I can grind this all off now, make it look pretty decent, and that leaves me a good solid plate here on both sides that I can figure out what I'm going to do for a motor mount. I still want to get all the way to this motor on the car. Right now, probably 60% of it's sitting up on these blocks. Since I'm in the welding mode, I think I'll just take and have a piece of strap that's big enough. This one here almost is. Kind of hate to ruin good metal, but no, it's not long enough to cross over. I could take a piece of my round rod, same deal. I hate to bend it up just to waste it. Look around here and see if I can find something else to make a motor holder out of. I found a piece of rebar, 1/4-inch rebar. I've been hit. I was going to go under the harmonic balancer there, but it turned out that I just used this big 1/2-inch piece of 3/8 bar here and went under it good, and I can still kind of slide it around on that. I need to bring this engine forward about 1 inch. I'll put the fan pulley right at the edge of the cross member. It's not that bad. My pan now is, I don't know, 6-7 inches off the ground. I think I'm about the same as I am with this cross member. So I want to get the pan, you know, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch higher than the cross member. But that's looks pretty good to me. It's down in, and the back of the pan is, you know, pretty level there. I mean, that's I think an 8-inch block of wood, and it'll almost go under it. So I got 6-7 inches. Here I got 6 or 7 inches. The manifolds are going to go on. I can get plenty of clearance there for the exhaust pipe. This boxed frame now, I don't have to worry about that. I just cleaned it up, and I decided what I'm going to do is just cut the brackets off of this mount, And I'll probably put this mount somewhere where it is close to the frame, and then I'll make standoff brackets here. I may have to make these kind of straight across and up. I want to leave some room for my steering. I don't have to get too carried away. As you can see, the angles pointing, you know, right towards more towards the frame than it is the motor mount. So I'll get that sorted out. I'm close to the center of the where the motor should go. I don't know how far, but it'll be, you know, once I can I'll center it up and start measuring stuff. I don't really want to do anything at this point because I'm going to have to kind of jack it up to get some room to get my grinder in there. I may be able to do it, but I'll get this cleaned up before I go too much further. My angle now is, I can tell it's pointed too low. It should be that, yeah, I'm like 5 degrees the wrong way. So the front of this motor's got to go up about 1 inch. And but we're pretty close. Main thing is the entire motor weight is in the car. You can see I've got plenty of suspension travel. My tie rod ends are almost level. They should be pointed down just a hair. I still got more weight in it. I think the time I get the transmission and all the stuff in, these things will be parallel to the ground, and that's where I want them. I was worried about where my springs were going to go. It looks like they're kind of found their own spot. I'll make a bracket to hold the bottom of that. I just need to, looks like this one's on the outside towards the back. This one's on the outside towards the front. I guess that's good enough. Back or front, depends on the spin of the spring. Probably these springs are the flat on top, I don't know. I would always pull this A-arm off of here and figure it out. I need to replace those bushings anyway. I've got some bigger A-arms out there. I don't know whether I'll try to use them. They look like they're in better shape than these, but basically I know these have the right geometry. I think those others are a little bigger, and looks like my camber's out pretty good on this one. And this one here is pretty straight. So probably need some I don't remember how you adjust the camber on these. I think it just slides in and out right there in that bracket. Just loosen those 2 bolts, move it around. That'll be easy enough to fix. Alignment, because I think this whole piece was, this whole cross member here was taken out of a Mustang, and I think that's it's gonna be able to get to travel whatever it needs. Just have to move that upper control arm in. Looks like it's in all the way in the front. I doubt if these are even tight. They probably just slapped it together. But I can tell those bushings are shot. But at least I got this done. It's holding its weight in the car. This tire here was 2 inches low, so the whole car looks kind of funky. Let me put board under it real quick. Yeah, that's right on maybe 1 or 2 degrees. So it's level now. I think probably the back is probably a little funky too. But yeah, I'm getting a couple inches of play there. I think it's going to be good enough. So Mr. Motor's in. I don't know how much room we're going to have on the firewall. And that thing looks like it's about a foot. And probably about 6 inches. So the taper of the bell housing will be inside the firewall for like 6 inches. I'll just measure that real quick. Well, where the transmission bell housing stops and the pan starts is about 6 inches from the motor. So it's almost a couple inches behind this firewall is all. And the depth of the thing is also about 6 inches. So depth of the bell housing to the top of the curve. So the top of the bell housing is going to be about right here. It'll be almost flush with the firewall, maybe just a little bit inside, a couple inches. And maybe 2 inches above the frame. So I'm going to have a real nice big flat firewall there. I won't have to worry about some killer transmission tunnel, and I can probably start my floorboard flat right about the I don't know, 6 inches past that front brace. So my floorboard is going to be from about where these vent holes are here, straight back to this last bolt. That will all be flat. So that leaves me just about any kind of seat. I won't have to make much of a transmission tunnel at all. Maybe a foot. I'm still going to have my motor higher than so I won't knock a hole in my oil pan. And I've got a jack standard over there. I wonder if it's hitting it. But looks like that's a good place for the motor. I may have a little bit of minor tweaking to do. Yeah, now that front end is doing its thing. Back end has got a little spring in it. Time I get these A-arms mounted, Oh, and I was going to check this pinion angle. It looks like it's about 5 degrees pointed up. And I need 3. So this is real close. 3 up on it, 3 down on that. Or 5 and 5, that's good enough. I'll have to put a piece of pipe or something in there and check out where my my drive line's going to go, but just looking at it, I'm sure it'll be okay. So that's it. This is where this motor goes, within an inch or so in every direction. It was quite a bit of work to get this in. I still got a lot of work to mount it, but I don't remember exactly where my radiator was. I've got it laying around here somewhere. There it is. I just lost my tape. That looks like it's about a foot maximum from the front of this. So, oh, I remember now. It's right there at that brace. So I got 6 or 7 inches at least. That means I'll be able to use that big old stock fan. I won't have to fool around with electric pumps, and I don't even know what I did with it. It's here somewhere. There it is, back there in the corner. So radiator's going to clear. The fan's going to be probably 2 inches away from the radiator, and that'll be almost ideal. Now, of course, if it don't work right, I can always put a shroud on it, but the card dictated where the motor went. Dictating's done and the motor's in. Probably a long-winded video, guys, but like and subscribe. Tomorrow we'll clean this all up and I'll cut them motor mounts up, try to make something there, and we'll get this thing mounted in, and then I'll start cleaning up the rest of this frame.